US was never a factor between India-China relationships. And people who are around Mr. Trump, I think they should better mind their language. And I feel really pity about them. I want them to go back to school.
Hi folks, so this is Queenie. After 5 years, China and India flights are finally back in the air. So is it just reconnecting the routes or rewiring the geopolitics?
Well, I see there are three important things which is going to change. One, because I have been frequently traveling between India and China. Now, with the direct flights, what makes is the businesses are going to see a lot more accelerations of interactions between the two sides. Number second is the students. You know that before pandemic, approximately 17 to 18,000 students, Indian students, used to travel to China. Post pandemic, it became difficult for them first to travel because there were no direct connections. And then secondly, the alternate connections were very costly and time consuming. I think that is going to substantially change. Number three, China is also a recipient of large scale Indian tourists, significant places, whether that is Shanghai, Guangzhou, Beijing. Then you have a Chengdu from place you are trying to telecast this video. A lot of Indians used to go and, visit.
Actually, besides us, many in Western media also focus on the restarting of China-India direct flight. And according to BBC, let's quote it. India's souring relationship with the US over President Donald Trump's punishing tariffs has also provided an impetus to Delhi-Beijing ties. Do you think India is actively seeking new economic growth?
Mhm. Well, I have been of the opinion that US was never a factor between India-China relationships. I mean, US is a very new country, about 400 years born. It doesn't have any history. It doesn't have any character. I'm quite open. You don't need to edit this thing. I'm saying it. This is the newest country in the world, and this is the country and the leadership think that it can bully the longest and the oldest civilization, which is absolutely absurd. It's a long civilizational history where they have seen rise and falls, glory, war, a lot of things have happened. And I think in the history of US, there is nothing like that, right? So they do not have a reposition of a long culture, reposition of hereditary knowledge, which is passed from centuries to centuries. It was not US which led to the improvement of the relationship. Rather, what I would call it, the US attempt to disturb the larger global fabric of understanding towards global order, global transitions, or giving a chance to developing economies, lesser developing economies, or lower developing economies, has made everyone realize that US is not really interested or committed to have a equilateral global relationship. They want to have a very hierarchical hegemonic relationship with the other countries, and whether that is with Europe, whether that is Asia, or that is any other continent.
Because I just wanted to ask, because some people will view this as like more like a pragmatic compromise for India to do this. But in your view, obviously, it's not.
US has not been understanding the requirement of India. So we have been never pushed to reconcile with China. The India's positions is independent of its relationship with the US. And we look at US relationship independent of China. It is very important. Let me also tell you, Queenie, very clearly over here. Mr. Trump visited India. He visited India. The moment he went back, most of his senators, most of his office bearers were criticizing India for human rights, were criticizing India for the pathetic roads, were criticizing India for poverty. And people who are around Mr. Trump, I think they should better mind their language. They do not have any knowledge of decency with regard to the state to state relationship. It shows how shallow is their understanding about the state to state relationship in the global relationship. And I feel really pity about them. I want them to go back to school, start learning about how the hospitable relationship can be built. The confidence between the two countries, between India and US, is at the lowest, at the lowest level, and I don't think that is going to gain traction any longer.
Right. So my last question will be, what signal does the resumption of the flights between China and India send to developing countries in addressing trade protectionism like Trump did and promoting multipolarity?
Majority of the global south leadership people look at how India and China have maintained uh, their role in global economy. So when both these countries come forward and engage with each other, it sends not only positive signals but a kind of hope, a lot more signals of coming together, sharing responsibility and stakeholdership. Because if Asia holds the responsibility, both India and China play a key responsible role in creating these vibrations in the global relationships.
Right. Just as you said, it's like Modi said once, the partnership or the joint hands between China and India could make the 21st century an Asian century. And we're both believing that, and we're looking forward to more projects going on between China and India in the future. Yes. And thank you so much. That's pretty much all the questions. Yeah, thank you so much. And thank you for your time.